Shalom and Salaam and peace. And I say all three of those words to remind myself and all the rest of us that today in our generation, nobody lives in a room in which there are only Jews or only Muslims or only Christians. We may think we are. There might be a meeting that we think is made up only of Jews or only of Christians or only of Muslims. But in fact, the world is now so small, and the possibility of sharing and joy between us is so great, and not just possibility but reality of destruction among us is so great, that it's really important for us to remind ourselves over and over again that all of us are in the room together, in every room, even if we only think that there are only Jews or only Muslims or only Christians. So, Shalom, Salaam, peace, which feels especially important for us to remember, for me to remember, at this moment when in Gaza and in southern Israel there is war and carnage and disaster, hundreds dead, many of them civilians, including children in Gaza, and some dead in southern Israel, and the trauma among children and grown-ups there too, fearing the rockets that keep coming. All of that reminding us that we are all in the room together and need not only to mourn the dead, we do need to do that, mourn all the dead, not just, quote, our own, but all the dead. But not only to mourn them, but to take the action that will keep it from going on. Why do I come? I'm a rabbi. How come I'm feeling so much connected with the people of Gaza as well as the people of Israel? Well, when I was born, the 8th day, as in Jewish tradition, I was named after a grandfather. I was named Avraham Yitzchak, Abraham Isaac, the father and son out of which Jewish tradition says the Jewish people, the son of Sarah, come. And when I was in my 40s, in the mid-70s, on a Rosh Hashanah morning when somebody called me up to the Torah totally without planning, and asked me my name, I answered, oh, Avraham Yitzchak Yishmael, Abraham, Isaac, Ishmael, Ismael, the other family, the second son of Abraham, with Hajar or Hagar, the son that is understood as the ancestor, the forebear of the Arab peoples and of Islam. And that has taught me, I didn't know why I was doing it, but I have discovered what it did to me, that whenever there is murder between the different families of Abraham, I feel as if I myself am being torn apart. And when there is peace and joy, and when I'm in a meeting in which Jews and Muslims and Christians together are working on whatever issue, peacemaking or healing the earth from the disasters we're facing now, the earth that all of us belong to, then I feel whole. Then I feel my Abraham, Isaac, and Ishmael really come together. I actually back then had a talit made to try to symbolize and remind myself physically. A talit that has in it the Dome of the Rock and the Western Wall, the symbols and places, not just symbols, of sacred Jewish concentration and of sacred Muslim concentration. And between them, the rock. That one rock for which the Dome of the Rock is named, and that's the rock on which, according to Jewish tradition, Isaac was bound almost to be killed until God said, wait, don't kill your children. And the rock from which, in Muslim tradition, Muhammad had the mystical experience of rising to heaven. So here we are, the war, the Gaza war, again and again and again. The latest in this terrible series of killings between the different families of Abraham. What to do? What to do? I think both of the families there, Palestinians and Israelis, have learned so much fear, so much rage, so much despair from what they've been through that it's really hard for them to figure out what to do about it, other than simply repeat the past again and again with killing. And I think it may depend on outsiders, and especially the outside energy and force and power and spiritual possibility of the United States to do something about it. So we are the great power, and we could push hard for a peace settlement that included the entire region and included a free and independent Palestine alongside a free and independent and peaceful Israel. We could. And I think the question is, in America, where is the energy from to do that? I think if Muslims, Christians, and Jews in America, majorities of both, not all, that won't happen, but majorities of all three of those communities came together to insist, then we could make a coalition that would move the American government to act. Gathering that way, we would all be going deeply to our spiritual experience of the One. For me, a rabbi, I'm Rabbi Arthur Waskow from the Shalom Center, that depth of connection with the One is the real truth. And I'm glad to connect with you all and to say again, Shalom, Salam, peace.